I didn't really feel like I had the same identities that I did at that point at all, so I just felt lost. Hey, it's me, Monty Bree. If you've been here before, then welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been, then nice to meet you. So today it is May 19th, 2020, and yesterday was officially the 1-year anniversary of me graduating undergrad. Hey. Yay. Yeah, after graduating, I felt like watching post-grad videos helped me a lot with just kind of like figuring out where I was with things and kind of like dealing with a lot of the feelings that come from graduating that either no one tells you about or they don't really tell you how heavy some of it is. And so I thought I would film my own now that I'm kind of like at that milestone in life. So I hope you enjoy this. So I think I'm just gonna do kind of like a timeline from then to now. So on May 18th, 2019, I graduated from Mills College, which is a historically women's college in Oakland, California, and I graduated with my BS in ecology, evolution, and behavior, which is always a mouthful. And so the timeline around graduation was very rushed for me. So the way that my school worked, basically that Thursday before graduation, I had my last final in the morning, and then that afternoon/evening, I was prepping for and carrying out our Black graduation, which I was the head of my Black student collective on campus, so I was super involved in that, really busy. And then Friday was rehearsal for graduation and set up for my graduation party. Saturday was the actual graduation, and then Sunday I was able to relax some in the morning, but that afternoon I started moving things out of my dorm. And I did part-time work over the summer after graduation with my research advisor, doing work on campus still, in the lab, in the field, and it meant that I was living on campus but in an apartment versus the dorm that I usually lived in. So Sunday, Monday, and part of Tuesday, me and my mom were packing stuff up, moving out of my dorm and into this shared apartment. And then that Wednesday, I immediately started working, and I worked Wednesday through Friday every week during the summer from May until July. And I didn't really feel during this time like I graduated. Like, I was living on campus still. I was living with a bunch of people who still went to the college, a bunch of my friends who still went there, and people who had graduated with me. So like I was hanging out with a bunch of my friends still, you know, it kind of just felt like an extended part of senior year. I also wasn't really doing the post-grad like job hunt. I had decided back in junior year that I was going to take a gap year after graduating, and that I was basically going to spend that time applying to grad schools, taking the GRE, all of that. And so I also was going to live back in my parents' house, and I didn't really feel like I was doing all the stuff that a lot of other people were in terms of looking for apartments, looking for jobs, but like that was fine. But it just kind of added to that feeling of not being any different than regular senior year. And so things just kind of kept at that for the rest of the summer. I officially like left campus, we moved off, finished working at the end of July. And then I kind of just like hung out for a good month. Like August was basically just like a very chill time for me. I was like finally able to relax, didn't have to worry about, you know, waking up early in the morning to go to work or, you know, go to class or exams or any of that. And so it was just really cool after basically not having a break since winter break to finally be able to have that time. But then in the beginning of September, my brother started school again, and because my brother goes to the same school that my godbrother who lived with us and some of my cousins do, it was basically like a family affair. So I was traveling with him, going to school, all good. But I found that being back on a college campus that I obviously wasn't going to school on kind of felt not uncomfortable, but it made me anxious. So like I would go there, and in the morning I would immediately kind of like put my headphones in, listen to music, because being in that environment made me feel uncomfortable some. And I didn't like immediately name it, but I realized it was because, you know, they were active college students who were hanging out with their friends, who were doing homework, who were like, you know, in the library and in the quad and everything. And it was a really cool atmosphere, but it was the first time that I actively wasn't a part of that. Like, even going to a small college when I was in school and I would go to a bigger college like Cal, you know, I didn't go to that school, but I knew the college atmosphere, and then I'd leave that and go right back to my regular college, and I'd hang out with my friends and go grab dinner and, you know, study and all of that. And this was the first time that that wasn't a thing for me, you know? A lot of my friends weren't in the city anymore, maybe weren't in the state. Obviously, we weren't going to school together and seeing each other every day, and so I felt envious of them a lot, and I'm sure that I was not a super fun person to be around all the time during this portion of time, just because I was in a bad mood. And even when I wasn't going on campus, like when I was back at home, I was just like not really doing anything. I would lay out on the couch and like watch the same show like 15 million times, and basically just like didn't have motivation to really like make myself a ton of food or to get up and, I don't know, plan for anything. Like, I was very, I don't know, I felt like I didn't really have a motivation for many things. And so I feel like this kind of culminated when I was having a conversation with my dad one night, and I graduated when I was 20. So moving back home, only being 20, even the friends that I did have who still lived in the area, I wasn't really going out with them because, you know, there were a lot of places that I couldn't go to at that point. And obviously I wasn't seeing people every day because I wasn't on campus. And I just felt like I also lived on my own for most of the 4 years. Like, I lived in a single dorm all 4 years, and then I had, you know, the shared apartment over the summer, but I had been on my own, and suddenly I didn't have that, and I was, you know, back living at home, and I just kind of felt like my independence had kind of regressed, and that I didn't really feel like I had the same identities that I did at that point at all. So I just felt lost. And, you know, he was super supportive, great conversation. But after that, I remember just like crying for easily like 8 minutes, and then going on YouTube and just looking up like post-grad depression. And obviously, I don't think I was clinically depressed at all, but I looked it up, and there were so many videos of people talking about their feelings after college and feeling the exact same way I did, and still to be able to put some sort of name to it was really good, because, you know, I kind of felt like I was odd for feeling this way, you know? My friends, not all of them were actively kind of posting on Instagram or Facebook or anything about like feeling this way, and so, you know, there were one or two who did, but I felt like I was one of few. And then suddenly I looked it up, and there were so many people who felt this way. And, you know, some were at the same point as me, only like 3 months out from graduating, but some of them were a year out and still felt this way. And it just really helped to know that other people had also been in this place, were still in this place, and were able to get through it and, you know, still kind of find themselves again. And so I needed that, because that was kind of like the push that I needed to be like, okay, you've named it now. Good for you. What are you going to do next? And so, like I said, I was applying to grad school. So basically after that, starting in like September, October, I was able to kind of push myself to start doing things again. Before I graduated, I was always that person who always had a plan, you know, knew exactly what she was going to do. And not feeling that way had made me go from motivated, know exactly what I'm going to do, to like nothing at all. And this kind of pushed me to be able to feel that way again. And so I was really planning for grad school applications. I took the GRE, I submitted all my applications in December, and, you know, I had a plan. And so December, January was kind of like chill out time for me again, because, you know, now all my applications were done. It was the holiday season, my birthday's in December, so I was like, okay, this is time to relax again. And I'll, you know, resume things again the new year. And the new year also made me feel like obviously I wanted to create some resolutions, and so they weren't necessarily like you need to do this or you need to do that. It was more so here are some of the things that you can do to make yourself feel better in this way or to work towards that goal. Try and accomplish some of them, which was a lot easier for me than just giving myself like one main mission, and if I didn't accomplish that, feeling just like I totally failed. So that was good. And then I also kind of made it a goal of mine to kind of get out some more in February. So, you know, I reached out to people again, and I was hanging out with some friends in February. It was cool. It was awesome. I hadn't started the job search because depending on where I got into grad school, I didn't want to take a job thinking that I was going to be working there for a while and then realize I might move in a few months to somewhere far away, so I'm not going to be able to work here anymore. So I was waiting on my status for my grad school applications before I really full on went into the job search. Things were going fine, and then COVID hit. And obviously, like in March, a lot of people's plans just totally shifted or were destroyed, and some of the things that I thought I was going to do, things I thought I was going to work towards, weren't really priorities anymore. And for a while I felt myself kind of getting lost again. In March I also started getting some of my grad school application statuses back, and at this point I basically didn't get into any of the schools that I applied to. I only have like one application left that they haven't said anything about, but it's also after most of the deadlines, so you know, that's where things are. And in March I just felt myself kind of getting bogged down again and feeling like, okay, maybe I haven't made that much progress after all. Like, this is where I am. This is kind of where I was a year ago. What's up? But in April/May, I decided that kind of coming up on this 1-year anniversary of graduating, I just wanted to reinvigorate myself again, like I had back in the fall of like, okay, this is where you are, name it, that's fine. And now we're going to move forward knowing that that's, you know, how you feel. And so I've started like kind of trying to keep my planner up again and keeping in touch with friends and, you know, having hobbies and all of that, because I've learned a lot about myself in this past year. And obviously a lot of people who either are new graduates of 2020 or graduated a while ago like me but are kind of new to the job market and the post-grad life still, this is a huge shift for all of us, and it's changed a lot of our plans and a lot of our, you know, ideas of what the future was going to be. But since this is kind of just the atmosphere that we're in, I'm really trying to control what I can, you know, and set realistic goals for myself, you know, just like daily goals, weekly goals, and you know, whatever ones I accomplish, that's good, that's progress. And so just being able to do that, I feel like I'm in a much different and better place than I was a couple months after graduation. And you know, a lot of things haven't changed, but some have, and I'm really proud of myself for that. And you know, just wanted to do this kind of update recap to be able to remind myself of that. So yeah, that's kind of it. That's been my year of post-grad life. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I like reminiscing back on when I was in college, so if you're interested in like videos on what it was like going to a historically women's college or being a science student or like study tips, let me know, because I'd be totally down to film any of those. And I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, comment down below, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!